today. Today we are reading Ecclesiastes chapter 3, going all the way to Ecclesiastes, the sixth chapter. All right. So without further ado, we can go ahead and get started. It's the book Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the sun, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up, a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to loose, and a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence, a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time to war and a time of peace. What profit have he that worketh in that wherein he laboreth? I have seen the travail which God hath given to the sons of men to be exercised in it. He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also he hath set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. I know there is no good in them, but for a man to rejoice and to do good in his life, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labors. It is the gift of God. I know that whatsoever God doeth, it shall be forever. Nothing can be put to it, nor anything taken from it. And God doeth it, that man that should fear before him. That which he have been is now, and that which is to be have already been. And God required that which is past. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. And I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time for every purpose and for every work. I said in my heart concerning the state of the sons of men, that God might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts. For that which befelleth the sons men befelleth beasts. Every one thing befell them. As one dieth, so dieth the other. Yea, they have all one breath, so that no man have no preeminence above a beast. For all is vanity, and all unto one place, all are of the dust, and all turn to dust again. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of beast that goeth downward to the earth? Wherefore I perceive that there is nothing better than that a man should rejoice in his own works, for this is his portion. For who shall bring him to see what shall be after him? All right, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 1. So I returned and considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun, and behold, the tears are such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter. And on the side of their oppressors there were power, but they had no comforter. Wherefore I praise the dead which are already dead, more than the living which yet are alive. Yea, better is he that than both they which have not yet been, who have not seen the evil work, what work that is done under the sun. Again, I consider all travail and every right work, that for this a man is envy of his neighbor. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit. The fool foldeth his hands together, and eateth his own flesh. Better is a handful with quietness than that both the hands full will travail in vexation of spirit. Then I returned and saw the vanity under the sun. There is one alone, there is not a second. Yea, he have neither child nor brother, yet is there no end of all his labor. Neither is his eye satisfied with riches. Neither saith he, for whom I do labor, and bereave my soul of good. This is also vanity, yea, it is a sore travail. There are two better than one, because they have a good reward for his labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he fall, for he have not another to help him up. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And threescore cord is not quickly broken. Better is a poor and wise child than an old and foolish king, who will no more be admonished. For out of prisons he cometh to reign. Whereas also he that is born in this kingdom becometh poor. And I consider all the living which walk under the sun with the second child that shall stand up in his stead. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice of him in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit. All right, we are now in chapter 5, Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thy heart be hasty to utter anything before God. For God is in heaven, and thou upon the earth. Therefore let thy words be few. For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and fool's voice is known by multitude of words. When thy vows a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he have no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. Better is it that thou shouldest not vow, than that thou shouldest vow and not pay. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin, neither say before the angels that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thy hands? For in the multitude of dreams and many words there are also divers vanities. But fear thou God. If thou seest the oppressions of the poor and violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter, for he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they. Moreover, the profit of the earth is for all, and the king himself is served by the field. He that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with the increase. This is also vanity. When God increase, they are increased that eat them. And the good is there to the owners thereof, saving the beholding of them with their eyes. The sleep of a laboring man is sweet, neither he eats little or much, but the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep. There is a sore evil which I have seen under the sun, namely riches kept for the owners thereof to their heart. But those riches perish by evil travail. And he begetteth a son, and there is nothing in his hand. As he came forth of his mother's womb, naked shall he return to go as he came, and shall take nothing of his labor, which he may carry away in his hand. And this also is a sore evil, that is in a point as he came. So shall he go. And what profit have he that have labored for the wind? All the days he eateth in darkness, and he have much sorrow and wrath with his sickness. Behold, that which I have seen, it is good and comely for one to eat and to drink, and to the good of all his labor that taketh up the sun all the days of his life, which God giveth. For it is his portion. Every man to whom God hath given riches and wealth, and have given him power to eat thereof, and to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labors. This is the gift of God, for he shall not rejoice or remember the days of his life, because God answered him in the joy of his heart. All right, we are now in chapter 6, Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and verse 1. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, and is coming among men. A man whom God given riches, wealth, and honor, so that he wanteth nothing for his soul of all that he desire. Yet God giveth him not power to eat thereof, but a stranger eateth it. This is vanity, and it is an evil disease. If a man beget 100 children, and live many years, so that the days of his years be many, and his soul be not filled with good, and also that he have no burial. I say that an untimely birth is better than he, for he cometh in with vanity and departeth in darkness, and his name shall be covered with darkness. Moreover, he have not seen the sun, nor known anything that have more rest than the other. Yea, though he live 1,000 years twice told, yet he yet have he no hath yet have he seen no good, and not all good to one place. All the labor of man is his mouth, and yet the appetite is not filled. For what have the wise more than the fool? What have the poor that knoweth to walk before the living? Better is the sight of the eyes than the wandering of the desire. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit. That which have been is the name already, and it is known that is man. Neither may he contend with him that is mightier than he. Seeing there be many things that increase vanity, what is man the better? For who knoweth what is good for man in this life? All the days of his vain life, which he spreadeth as a shadow. For who can tell a man what shall be after him under the sun? All praise to the Most High God. I hope pray y'all glean something from these 4 chapters. Hey, until next time, Israel, love y'all. Most High in Christ bless everyone. Shalom.